If you are a person who looks like me or similar to me, you hear a lot of content, a lot of feedback about what you are and aren't allowed to talk about. And before you get offended by that, I saw 2 videos today, and I'm not really going to discuss the content of these videos. That's not really a topic. But one video was from an Indigenous content creator, and it was talking about Cher and her song Half Breed and her video and her show performance of the song Half Breed and why it was problematic. And then right after I saw that video, I saw another video from a content creator that was out of the UK, and she was talking about why European practitioners of the occult, of witchcraft, appropriate other cultures so much. She was talking about how European pagan practices were obliterated, just wiped off the face of the earth and replaced with Christianity. And her whole page is dedicated to like a return to European pagan practices. It's funny that both of those showed up right, like one after the other almost. As I was thinking today about Inanna and shadow work and pantheons and polytheism. And for those of you who wanted more witchcraft episodes, here you go. You're welcome. Hi, welcome back to the podcast. I'm your host, Naomi, and this is Mosaic in Progress. And today I want to talk about shadow work and manifestation, and I can hear my dog going crazy in the background, and sorry for those of you who hear his little tippy taps, or you're welcome, if the little tippy taps make you happy, because he does, and now he's chewing his bone like right outside the door. I guess he wanted to be part of the podcast today. That's Nimbus. And for those of you who are not a subscriber on my Patreon, there is a Nimbus tier. All of my tiers are named after my lovely fur babies. The highest tier is Beatrix because she's always here whenever I'm doing podcasts or any kind of workings. And then we've got the Mr. Kitty tier. We've got the Nimbus tier. And there's a lot to offer there that's not just the podcast, and I would love it if you would go check it out. It's patreon.com/mosaicin-progress. So, back to the topic, though. Ignoring Nimbus's tippy taps and bone chewing right outside the door. I was sitting today, I was meditating on shadow work and manifestation, and the fact that we kind of hold them in opposition to each other, and in a sense they are, and in a sense they aren't. I think that shadow work is necessary for manifestation, because if you are ignorant of your blind spots, if you are overlooking the things that are holding you back, it's going to hinder you from manifesting effectively. So I really wanted to quote to you, I wanted to read to you from the book Aphrodite's Daughters by Jalaja Bonheim, and I'm so sorry if I butchered that name, but I don't have it anymore. I guess I let somebody borrow it and they haven't returned it because I can't find it anywhere, and it's one of my favorite books, so that makes me really sad. So if you're listening to this, you're one of my friends and I let you borrow that book, can I please have it back? Because that's one of my favorite books and I have so many notes in it and I would really like to have it back. Anyway, the myth of Inanna is a beautiful metaphor for shadow work and for the purpose of shadow work. So Inanna is a very ancient goddess. She's one of the oldest goddesses. And she was a goddess of like spring and nature and growth and fertility and all of that. And she had a twin sister who was also sort of herself. It's a very complicated myth. Who was queen of the underworld and goddess of death. And Inanna was like, I'm going to go down there and visit my twin sister, and I'm going to take her kingdom from her, and I'm going to have all the power. And she goes down with her, like, all of her royal regalia and everything, and she has to pass through 7 gates, and at each gate she has to give up something. Her crown, her robes, whatever. So that by the time she reaches the underworld, she's completely naked. She's given up everything. And her twin sister self, Ereshkigal, looks at her and laughs at her and tells her she's arrogant and immediately kills her and hangs her on a meat hook. And Inanna hangs there for 3 days and then resurrects herself with the power of love. And when she resurrects herself, she takes with her the power of death, goes back up to our world, the earth, with the power of death and life, and rules over everything. And if you think that sounds like the story of Jesus, you're not wrong, and it predates Jesus. But that's a story for another episode. The point with this is when we do shadow work, the point should always be to gain our power back, to reclaim our twin sister self that we have dissociated from, that part of us that we deem as other, that we refuse to have anything to do with, that we think is not really a part of us. Shadow work is about accepting the parts of yourself that you don't accept. It's not just about dealing with trauma. Trauma is such a small part of it. It's about accepting the parts of yourself that you don't accept, that you don't even acknowledge. The part of you that mocks that other woman because she's had some work done. The part of you that wants to be petty. The part of you that does not operate from a place of love. That's still you. And that part still deserves love and acceptance. Shadow work should always be about reclaiming your power. It's not just healing trauma, and I feel like so much of shadow work today focuses so much on trauma healing, and that's important, and we live in a very traumatized society. But it's not everything. It's not even the main point. Trauma is something that was done to you. Shadow work is about accepting the you that you traumatized, that you dissociated from, that you let go of, that you pushed away. Shadow work means integrating your wholeness. And the entire point of it is found in the myth of Inanna, because her entire reason for descending into the underworld, which is a myth it's a metaphor for shadow work. Her entire reason for that was to gain her power, because she knew if she did that, she'd be unstoppable. There is a reason that descending to the underworld as a myth is the metaphor for shadow work. Any goddess myth of an earthly goddess or an ethereal goddess who descends to the underworld and comes back is a metaphor for shadow work. And there's so many. Persephone, Inanna, Isis. There's so many. Even Hecate. Hecate was an ethereal goddess until she helped find Persephone, and then she descended into the underworld and she found her power there. The point is that we descend so that we can rise. That's the whole point. We descend so that we can rise. And I say this because it's so important that we do rise. And I talk so much about shadow work. And so much of my podcast is very shadow work focused. because I've done the work and I'm sharing with others the work that I have done, because I have always felt that if I walked through the darkness and found the light, I should come back with a fucking lantern to help others. That's the whole point of this. I'm bringing the lantern. But it's so important that we don't get stuck doing shadow work. We don't live in the underworld. And I'll make a slight caveat to that like venting and ranting over something when you're still processing is so valid. You need to get that out of your system. Go for it, yell it out, scream it out, break things if you need to. Like, that's so important, and that's such an integral part of shadow work. But don't get stuck in the mud. Like, don't stay there. Don't live there. Don't set up camp there. I have so many friends who I love so much, who I watch over and over again get stuck in the mud. And they tell themselves these stories. This is the story that they're writing for themselves over and over again. They say, nothing ever works out for me. Everyone is always fucking me over. I can't win. No matter what I do, nothing works out. Things always go bad for me. They speak these stories into existence. And I'm saying this not out of judgment. I am saying this to those of you who want to make your lives better, that this is what you avoid. Because the stories you tell yourself and the stories that you tell others do manifest in your reality. Which is what I wanted to talk about today. Because we talked about manifestation somewhat last week. And I want to talk about it again, but I want to get really practical with it. Because if you're depressed, if you're having a really hard time, it's really difficult to try to manifest anything good. It's so difficult to try to be positive. It's so difficult to focus on the good. It's so difficult to believe that things are going to get better. And you have to believe things to a degree that they're going to get better. Even if you're not believing it in your soul, but you're telling yourself that it's true, that's important. And telling yourself something, even if you don't fully believe it, is part of the process. You can tell yourself every single day, everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Everything is always working out for me. Whether you believe it or not, if you tell yourself that every day, you're going to start believing it because it's your voice and you hear it and you know to trust your own voice. And this is one of the biggest tools for manifestation, is talking it through, because it's really easy to be like, oh my God, I'm running late. Oh my God, I didn't get my hair done. Oh my God, I'm having a bad hair day. Oh, I didn't get my nails done. Oh, my makeup looks like shit. Oh, I forgot this. Oh, I don't have time to make coffee. Oh, I didn't have my lunch finished. I'll just grab this pack of peanut butter crackers that I have, and you manifest your reality with that. With these things that you're telling yourself over and over again, that everything's terrible, you're frantic, you're rushed, you don't have time, you don't have the things that you need, nothing is meeting your expectations. And telling those stories to yourself as you're thinking these thoughts in your head and you're focusing on them, you're giving them your deliberate intention, it creates your reality. And that's why when your day starts bad, it also ends bad. Because you did it to yourself. And I don't mean that in any way judgmentally. I mean this with so much love. Because I've experienced this in my own life. And I've experienced the shift of it. I have experienced being able to shift it. I have started my day off. Fuck, I'm running late. Fuck, I didn't make my lunch yesterday. Fuck, I don't have coffee. Fuck, 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 fuck. And I have continued that thought, and my day has been terrible, as I manifested that it would. And I have taken the time on other occasions to shift. Fuck, I woke up late. Fuck, I didn't make my lunch. Fuck, fuck. Hold on. I did wake up late. But you know what? I have enough time to get dressed and ready and make it to work on time. And I got paid today, so it's okay that I didn't make lunch last night because I can DoorDash some lunch today, and I have the money to do that. And I can DoorDash some coffee too. It'll be all right. I have enough money. I'll be okay. So just everything's okay. I have enough time. I have enough money. I'm okay. Everything's okay. Everything is working out. What am I wearing today? Let's wear something that makes me feel really good since the day started off a little rough. What is the favorite outfit that I can wear today? Okay, and how are we doing our makeup to go along with this? What's going to make me feel really good and confident? Okay, I'm dressed, my makeup's done. I don't have lunch and I don't have coffee, but that's okay. I'll DoorDash it when I get to work. And I have 10 minutes to spare right now to leave on time. So if I go ahead and leave now, I can get to work a little early and go ahead and put in that DoorDash order before I have to get started working. And then whenever it arrives, then I can drink my coffee or matcha. Let's be for real. I haven't drank coffee in over a year. I drink matcha now when I'm drinking caffeine. But whatever. And I can go ahead and get to work. And then when my matcha gets here, then I can drink that and I can just keep going about my day. Everything's okay. It really is okay. And it's really hard to do that when things feel like you're in crisis mode. And I get that 100%. I really struggle with this when things are so much worse than just, oh, I woke up late. But you can talk it through. You can really talk it through. And if things are awful, if you wake up and you don't have to go anywhere or be anywhere and everything is just awful and you feel overwhelmed by how awful everything is, you can work yourself into a good feeling mood. Your default, most people's default, in this society anyway, is to work yourself into a bad or a worse mood. We do the things like, oh no, I don't have enough time. Oh no, I don't have enough money. Oh no, everything's terrible. Oh no, everyone hates me. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. Everyone thinks I'm ugly and awful and fat and I'm going to die alone and probably homeless because that's the way society goes. And we work ourselves into these like frantic frenzies of negativity so easily. But you can work yourself into a good mood. Okay, are you ready? We're going to do it. We're going to work ourselves into a good mood together. All right, so I want you to think of something recently that made you happy. Okay, right now you're thinking of something like, oh, I got to get coffee on my way to work. Or I got a free coffee. Or I didn't have to wait in line at the gas station or the grocery store. Okay, that's a really small one. And that's good. That's a good start. I want you to think of something bigger. What's the next thing that you can think of? Something that made you really happy. Like, oh my God, I got a bonus at work. Or that really cute person who I've been wanting to talk to came up and flirted with me. Or I didn't have time to make lunch this morning. And I really didn't want to spend money on lunch. And when I got to work, I was told the company was buying us lunch. And so I got free lunch. I was taken care of when I really needed to be taken care of. Or I got to see my friend who I haven't seen in months or years. And we reconnected and it was like no time had passed. And just every single second with them was a joy for me. Something like that. Like, think of the thing that made you like really happy. Are you thinking about it? Take some time, like think about it. Think about the thing that made you like really happy. Okay, now that you're thinking about that, think about like your big dream that you're still holding on to. Like the one that maybe you do talk about and can't stop talking about, or maybe it's the one that you don't tell anybody about because it's so precious to you that you hold it really close. That really big dream that just like would explode your world into joy. Like maybe you're gonna record your album, or maybe you're gonna write a novel, or maybe you are becoming a mother or a father, or finding your soulmate, or getting your dream job, or getting a house, any house, or your dream house, or planting a garden, or maybe you're taking office. Maybe you're building a community of people and you're the safe space where everybody can come. Whatever your big dream is, like think about it. Like really think about it. Sit with it and think about how it feels. I want you to think about the last thing and how you felt thinking about that happy thought. And I want you to bring that forward into your dream. Bring that good feeling forward into your dream and let it fill it. And sit with that feeling, that really good feeling, and think about your dream. We've been talking for a few minutes now about really happy things, and what's really funny is that I've been smiling this whole time. And you can probably hear it in my voice, because you can hear a difference in the voice when someone's smiling versus when they're not. And smiling for more than 17 seconds changes your brain chemistry. Focusing positive attention for more than 17 seconds also changes your brain chemistry. It's all about focused attention and focused energy. Shifting your energy to where you want it to go. Shifting your attention to where you want it to go. This morning, not the morning you're listening to this, but the morning that I recorded this, I went to check our bank account, and those of you who've been listening to this podcast for a while know I've been unemployed for like 2 months now, and I'm on unemployment, and I had to pay an amount to my car loan company today, or they were going to repossess my car. And I had scheduled the payment, and my husband got paid yesterday. And I opened up our bank account app to check and make sure it went through. And I think like most bank account apps, it just gives you your balance before you see the overview. And the balance was less than what was needed to cover the payment. And before I had even finished opening the app, I already had the panic attack. Like I felt that sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach, that almost nauseous feeling, that adrenaline hit was already there. I was prepped and ready. Guns were loaded. My nervous system is hardwired for trauma, because that's how I was raised. And it doesn't matter how many good things happen to me, I am hardwired for trauma. And so my default is to expect the worst and to ready for the worst. And I was readied for the worst. And I opened it up, and the amount that was in the account was less than what was needed to cover the cost of the payment for my car. Immediate, amp up the panic attack. I was almost in tears. And then I opened the account details, and the reason that the amount was less than what the payment needed to be was because the payment had already went through. I was fine. I was good. Everything was okay. And that is the third day in a row that something similar has happened to me. And I have made a point of naming it out loud to myself. Not to anyone else, necessarily. But to myself, I say it out loud. There's a good thing. There's a good thing. I'm okay. There's a good thing. I'm okay. There's another good thing. I'm okay. That's 2 good things today. That's 3 good things today. And this is how you rewire your brain. This is how you bring in the good things. This is how you call in the good things. This is how you manifest the reality that you want. You keep naming the good things. You pay attention to them. Pay attention to the good things as much as you let yourself pay attention to the bad things. Oh my God, I'm not going to be able to pay my car loan. Oh my God. I was able to pay it off and I'm fine. And I still have money in the bank. That's amazing. That's awesome. I read in a book recently. I feel like it was The Power. I think it was in that book. But it was a story of someone who, to be intentional about noticing the good in their life, that whenever anything good happened, like what I mentioned, or even just driving down the road and there's a green light, going to park somewhere, there's a parking space right there, a good one, I don't have to drive around looking for one. They would just say, I love that, I love that, I love that. Because the energy of manifestation, while we've talked about how it is sexual energy, it is the energy of love. Anything good comes from the energy of love. And so to bring that energy in, to intentionally notice that energy, to say, I love that, is to call in more of it for yourself. I talked at the beginning about some videos that I had seen that really got me thinking about pantheons and polytheism, especially as someone from a very mixed racial and ethnic background, though I certainly do not appear that way to the naked eye. And I think the thing that really struck me with the video from the indigenous creator about Cher was they pointed out that she was 1/16 Cherokee. Or I may have misspoke. They said she was 1/16 indigenous, and I may have the specific tribe wrong, and I apologize if I do. And what's funny about that is that just means that was her great-grandmother. I knew my great-grandmother pretty well, and her traditions pretty well. She died when I was very young, but her daughter carried on her traditions and taught them to me. And this is not a slight towards the indigenous creator. And I said I'm not going to talk about these videos that much. But the two of them were addressing, in a sense, the same thing. The loss of connection to ancestry and the loss of connection to land. And I see so much in the world today of the aesthetic of witchcraft being celebrated without the work of witchcraft being celebrated. Shadow work is the basis of witchcraft. And if you don't believe that, then I am questioning your witchcraft. Because if you cannot hex, you cannot heal. And if you cannot face your shadow, then you cannot bring anyone into the light. That is the basis of witchcraft. It is balance. And anything that is otherwise is not true witchcraft. But this other creator was talking about how unethical it was to use the herbs and the traditions of other cultures that do not belong to you as Europeans. And again, this was someone out of the UK who was saying this. And she was talking about European herbs and European pagan traditions and how Europeans should get back to using those. As I was watching her video, I am not European. I'm of European descent. But it really hit me that that is the basis of all witchcraft. A lot of the people from my ancestries and my traditions, we called it root work. Root work is about rooting yourself into the land and finding the plants and the herbs and the medicine that is native to where you are, working with the land and the seasons where you are. Root work has always been one of the fundamental pieces of witchcraft. Ceremonial magic was for the men. And I'm not saying that women didn't participate in it. Ceremonial magic has always been for the men. Witchcraft is about knowing yourself and knowing the land and working in harmony with both. It is one of the most precious endeavors that you can engage in as a human, to know and love yourself and to know and love the land where you live, to embrace its seasons, to not hate winter or hate summer or hate the rain, but to see everything, every sunrise, every sunset, every rain, every snow, every frost, every gloomy gray day as a gift, and to know how to work with it. To not see the changing seasons or weather as something that is an enemy to you, but to work with it as a friend and to know how to work with it. This is one of the reasons why many witches or women were burned during the witch trials because their crops flourished while others did not, because they knew how to work with the seasons. They knew how to work with the moons for planting. They knew how to pay attention to the weather. They worked with nature, not against it. They did not try to conquer it. They loved the wildness and did not try to tame it, but loved it as it was and worked with it. We can do that for ourselves as well. We can love our own wildness. We can recognize those parts of us that have been tamed or who others have attempted to tame, and let them be free. We can love the softness and the fierceness and the harshness, coldness and the warmth. We can accept every bit of ourselves, and we can accept every bit of nature. Because to be a witch means to know that you are not separate from nature, nor is it separate from you, and to love every bit of it. This is a bit of a variation from my usual episodes, but I hope you've enjoyed it. And I hope you're following me on Patreon, whether you're subscribing or not. It's patreon.com/mosaicinprogress. You can find all of my links at linktree.com/mosaicinprogress. I really hope to see you all in the next episode, and I hope you are finding these variations from my usual topics beneficial. And I hope to see you all in the next episode as we both continue to work on our mosaic in progress.